Hi, I'm the Reverend Jeff Garrett, pastor at First United Methodist Church, Cedar Hill, Texas, and we are standing in our historic sanctuary, which was built in 1900. Our church was actually more than 50 years old at that point, and this was our second sanctuary because the first one was blown away by a tornado that wiped out most of the downtown buildings, all being made of wood back in the mid-1800s. This is, as I have been told, one of the crown jewels, if not the crown jewel of historic buildings here in Cedar Hill, being the oldest public building, well maintained and beautiful with our stained glass windows and the architecture and so forth. It is so obvious to me and well known that this place is a wonderful atmosphere for services, for weddings, for funerals, or for other events. We do rent out our historic sanctuary, as well as we have other buildings on campus, including a gym and a professional kitchen, as well as our new main sanctuary that seats over 500 people and of course has video screens and that kind of thing. But here in the historic sanctuary, we have added sound and we have amenities, and we've just replaced the lights in the chandeliers. The story is they were discarded in the back of an alley, sort of a dumpster area of the old Texas Utilities building when they replaced new chandeliers. And one of the workers was a member of our church and said to a boss or somebody higher up, "Hey, what are you going to do with those old chandeliers?" And they said, "Nothing." So we brought them back here, and they're solid brass and leaded glass, and they're very old to go with the old building. The stained glass windows were original with the building, so of course, being glass, over the years they broke and were damaged. Some from hail and pock marks from rocks or other kinds of debris, Texas windstorms. And then, not to mention, some shifting. Any building is going to shift, and this old building, of course, has had its share, and some of the glass windows would have pressure and crack. In the 70s or 80s, they replaced some of the panes with what was then a suitable replacement, but it was frankly a subpar yesteryear plexiglass. In today, with modern technology, they can make what looks like hand-poured stained glass with imperfections and bubbles, but it's a high-tech polyresin that's virtually indestructible. So we're putting those up to look old, like our building, and then we're covering all three huge panes and the other glass windows in the sanctuary with a Lexan type bulletproof material that will not cloud or age as protection and keep it sealed. One fun side story of our windows project is one of our members is a wood craftsman, and he has tools that do scroll work and fancy laser etching and whatnot. And he has taken some of the old plexiglass windows that are being replaced, and he's cut them the size and shape of his wood projects, and he glued them together and made Christmas ornaments or sun catchers. And of course, those were all the rage at our recent fall festival. People wanted them as a piece of the historic sanctuary, and people in town have heard of them and want them as well. And they are beautiful, and they're the red and the yellow and the blue and the green, and they're superimposed by a 3D wooden image, either a cross or an angel or a bird or whatnot. And those are very, very beautiful. And these sun catchers and Christmas ornaments are being sold as a fundraiser for our missions, and we support local missions. We started the food pantry, now Cedar Hill Shares, many years ago, just in the back of this historic sanctuary. A man in our church helped start Bridges Safe House and gave the property, and we support them, of course. And we support other Methodist and regional and global issues as well. Another facet that is featured here in our historic sanctuary is this organ here I'm leaning on. It's actually two organs from different states. The chest came from one church somewhere, and the pipes from another, and men of the church built the chest for the pipes to be housed. Put this organ chest here at the front, and had to get a new board and put it all together, and that was in the late 80s, big project in the church. And that's indicative of many things in our church. Since we're such an old church, people in the church, the ones that did them, people were craftsmen, and they had to do it themselves because they could not afford for the professionals to do it. So our organ is a sort of featured sentimental favorite spot over here in the historic sanctuary.